Hello, Dawes Road family, and to those of you who've tuned in, welcome in the precious name of our Lord Jesus Christ. In our 4-minute Bible booster, we once again want to turn to 1 John chapter 4. And the important question for us today is this: how do we operate? Do we operate out of fear or do we operate out of love? What motivates us to walk in obedience with God? Is it fear of judgment, or is it because we love God so much we want to please Him? Well, John answers that question for us in an amazing way. He has just finished telling us that there are three basic ways, or he lists three basic ways of how to evaluate the spirits. How do we know that the person talking to us is coming to us from a heart of truth? And number one, what do they say about Jesus? Number two, what do they say about the Bible? Number three, does the love of God fill their heart? And John doesn't want to just stop at number one and number two. He wants to make sure that we understand that, well, Jesus had said in his ministry, a new command I give to you, that you love one another as I've loved you. That by this shall all people know that you're my disciples, if you have love one for another. So sometimes we really get caught up. Well, are they talking truth about Jesus? Are they talking truth about the Bible? And then we forget about the love component. And John says, no, 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 no. That's so important, this love of God. So let me take a few moments to talk about that. Now, I'm going to give you some practical things John will say in just a few moments, but let's just take a look at the approach first. John would say this in 1 John chapter 4 and verse 16. He would say this: and so we know and rely on the love God has for us. God is love. Whoever lives in love lives in God, and God lives in them. And then he would say this: this is how love is made complete among us, so that we will have confidence on the day of judgment. When we get to that final judgment, we know that we are the children of God because of the completeness of the love of God in us. And how is that love seen as complete and mature in us? Well, we live like Jesus lived. That's what he would say at the end of verse 17. In this world, we are like Jesus. So how did Jesus operate? How did Jesus operate? Did he operate out of fear? If I don't obey the Father will disown me. The Father will kick me out. The Father will separate himself from me. The Father will bring judgment upon me. Or did Jesus operate out of love? I am doing this and I'm obeying the Father because I love the Father. And in loving the Father, I want to please him. Folks, I think we understand the difference in that attitude, don't we? I mean, when we were children, remember, Mom and Dad would say something and sometimes we would jump to it right away because we knew that if we didn't do it, some kind of punishment would come our way, whether it was a spanking or timeout or a loss of a privilege or whatever. We obeyed because, well, if we didn't, we were in trouble. But when we're older, for instance, now I'm not afraid of getting a spanking from my mom and dad. Why would I want to obey them now? It's because I want to please them. I want to see them laugh. I want to see them smile. I want to see the joy in their heart. And so I obey because I love. That's the way Jesus operated. He didn't operate out of fear. He operated out of love. And so he would say this. So the scriptures would say this: there is no fear in love, but perfect love drives out fear, because fear has to do with punishment. The one who fears is not made perfect in love. So, dear folks, I hope that you're walking in love, not fear, but in love, wanting to put a smile on the face of the Father as we walk with Jesus by the power of the Spirit. God bless you. Christ is risen. He is risen indeed.